sent the check-in we had agreed on, said she was in for the night, and 20 minutes later, the only signal she promised to leave on went dark. If this had happened a year earlier, I might have shrugged it off. Battery died, bad reception, phone glitch. Any of the tiny explanations people reach for when they still live in the version of a relationship where benefit of the doubt feels natural. But we were not living there anymore. We were living in the version built after repair, the careful version. The version with rules nobody wants to need, but some couples make anyway, after trust has already been damaged once and both people swear they are serious about building it back. Months earlier, Mara had lied to me about something small enough to sound ridiculous when summarized. Not a second relationship, not some movie scene revelation, just one night, a changed plan, a story that shifted twice, and a message I saw by accident that proved she had not been where she said she was. People love ranking betrayals, as if pain only counts when it reaches some dramatic minimum. But small lies can be worse in one specific way. They teach you that reality can be edited without warning and then handed back to you with a straight face. We almost broke up over it. Instead, we had the long conversations, the exhausted ones, the kind that begin with honesty and end with negotiated procedures. No one likes that phrase in romance, but that is what repair often is. Procedure, structure, repeatable proof that words will not have to do all the work alone. So when one of us was out late, especially in another part of town, we checked in. Not constantly, not obsessively, just enough that the other person would not wake up at 2 a.m, wondering whether silence meant sleep, carelessness, or another rewritten story. On Friday, Mara went to a birthday after-party for an old college friend. I remember the way she said old college friend, with that casual over-explanation people use when they want a sentence to sound less specific than it really is. I noticed it, then told myself not to be the kind of person who notices tone like it is forensic evidence. She left around 8, kissed me on the cheek at the door, said, "I probably won't stay long. I'm tired already." At 11:14, I got a voice note. Background music, muffled laughter, then her quieter voice, like she had stepped into a hallway. "Hey, I'm staying at Nina's. I'm not driving back. I'm safe and I'm done for the night. Love you." A minute later, our little safety circle app changed her status to end for the night. That should have been the end of it. It was designed to be the end of it, the tiny digital equivalent of, you can sleep now, nothing else to solve. At 11:36, I looked at my phone one last time before plugging it in. Her status was gone, not delayed, not stale. Gone. The circle was gray. The indicator blank. The quiet little marker we had specifically agreed to leave alone overnight had been switched off. I stared at it long enough for my eyes to start looking for movement inside something perfectly still. Then I put the phone down, picked it back up, checked again. Still dark. This is the part people romanticize wrong. Suspicion does not always arrive as rage. Sometimes it arrives as arithmetic. If she was already settled, why touch anything? If she wanted peace, why alter the one setting meant to create it? If it was innocent, why did it happen after the reassurance, not before? I did not call. That matters to me. I did not start texting in all caps. I did not open old wounds and pour them over the night before morning had even happened. I lay in bed with the kind of wakefulness that has no drama in it at all. Just a body that knows something is wrong before the mind agrees to say it. She came home a little after 9. Not wrecked, not ashamed, just brisk. Coffee in hand, sunglasses in her hair. That strange, extra bright normalness people perform when they want to cross a bridge before anyone asks how it was built. "Morning," she said. Then, "You're up early." I almost laughed, as if either of us was really talking about sleep. I asked, why did the check-in signal go dark last night? There are moments when a person could still save something, just by answering the question they were asked. This was one of them. She could have said, "My phone died. I panicked. My friend changed a setting. I forgot." Anything, really. Anything that respected the sequence enough to address it. Instead, Her whole face changed, not into guilt, into offense. "Are you serious?" she said. "You checked that?" I said, "We both check it. That's why we set it up." She dropped her keys in the bowl by the door with more force than the moment required. "No, we set it up so you would calm down, not so I could get audited every time I go somewhere." There it was. The move that hurts more than the lie itself, sometimes. The conversion. Take a shared agreement, wait until it becomes inconvenient, then recast the other person as unstable for remembering it existed. I said, "I'm not asking where you were every second. I'm asking why the one signal you said you'd leave on turned off right after you told me not to worry." She rolled her eyes, which somehow felt crueler than if she had yelled. "Maybe I touched something. Maybe my phone died for a while. Maybe stop acting like every little thing is proof of something. Every little thing." That was her phrase. As if timing were petty. As if contradiction were microscopic. As if reassurance followed by blackout were too small to deserve language. I looked at her, and for the first time I stopped trying to decide whether she had done something specific. That question suddenly felt smaller than the real one, because maybe she was exactly where she said she was. Maybe she was not. Maybe the night contained some messy, forgettable explanation I would never be able to verify, but the relationship was already telling on itself. It was telling on itself in the order of events, in the defensive tone, in the speed with which my discomfort became my character flaw. I thought about all the people who say trust is simple. Either you have it or you do not. That has never seemed true to me. Trust is often more specific than that. It lives in whether someone understands which details have become symbolic and treats them carefully because they know the cost of getting them wrong. The status signal was never important because of the app. It mattered because we gave it meaning together. And last night, she used that meaning long enough to soothe me, then treated me like a problem for noticing when she took it back. I did not ask another question. I did not debate timestamps. I did not try to win the morning with better evidence. I just said, I can survive not knowing every fact about last night. What I can't survive is being made to feel irrational for recognizing the exact pattern we said we were trying not to repeat. She looked at me like I had switched languages. Maybe I had. Maybe clarity always sounds foreign to people who were counting on confusion. She started crying then, which would have undone me once. But tears are not always remorse. Sometimes they are just shock that the old method stopped working. I took my mug to the sink, rinsed it, set it upside down on the drying rack. There is something strangely comforting about ordinary motions when a relationship finally stops being abstract. I turned back and said, "This isn't about one dark screen. It's about how fast you needed me to doubt myself instead of doubt the timing." She said my name softly, like that should still count as repair. It didn't. By noon, I had packed an overnight bag. Not because I had solved the mystery, because I had solved something else. I finally understood that trust does not die only when someone disappears. Sometimes it dies when they come back, see the wound they reopened, and decide the easiest fix is to make you ashamed of feeling it. That was the real signal. And once that went dark, I was done pretending I could still call the relationship safe.
Thank you for watching. If this story pulled you in, do me one favor. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so the next one finds you the moment it drops. Remember, nothing is ever just what it seems. See you on the next one.